Welcome to Friday Fish Facts. I'm your host, Ron DeSantis. Sorry for the delay, folks, but as you probably know, my guest today comes from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and maybe they're having some technical difficulties over on their side. They're a small part of the world, but they are a great part of the world. I would just like to welcome Joseph Harden of JH Aquatics. Joseph, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you? I appreciate you having me on. It's awesome.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I know I've been trying to line this up for a few weeks now, and it worked out. And I'm super happy that you're on because I think you're such an interesting dude, and I wanted to get you on here.
Yeah, it's nice. I love the community here on YouTube. The fish keeping world is huge, but there's a really awesome and a very quickly growing community here on the YouTube platform. So I don't know, being stuck on this little island, I don't get the opportunity to and here on the island, hang out with a lot of people in the hobby and geek out with people. So it's the community on YouTube has been a really strong part of the fish keeping community for me. So it's really nice. I love being a part of it, and it's I don't know where I would be in the hobby. I would be a pretty lonely guy if it wasn't for YouTube.
Yeah, well,
At least when it comes to my hobby, anyways.
Well, we're going to go through the chat today, and we're going to get people to some questions that I'm sure people have got some questions for you. But what I want to do is I want to kind of start off, and I got some of my own questions for you, if you don't mind. We'll start that. We'll get some of the folks some questions in the chat. But let's start at the beginning. You're from the continental U.S., right?
Yes, I was actually born in Colorado Springs. Yeah.
Okay. So when did you move to the U.S. Virgin Islands? How long have you been there?
I've been here almost 20 years. No, I moved here when moved here when I was about 20 years old. Moved here originally to work for the Westin Resort, to work for a resort here as a massage therapist, which is what I went to school for. So I moved down here. Yeah, so I moved down here when I was 20. The dreamy idea of working in, living in paradise and, being a massage therapist and having this great, wonderful, just all spiritually, just all lovely and wonderful. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. When you're young, you have all these ideas of grandeur that you think that life is going to be sometimes. But anyways, I moved here when I was 20 to work at a major resort as a massage therapist, and then I just kind of found out that it's really expensive to live here, and I wasn't going to pay my bills doing that for a living, honestly. So I ended up getting into other things and business management, and I also got into plumbing and construction. So I'm a new construction residential commercial plumber, and I'm also I do other facets of construction. I've been working in doing carpentry, finished carpentry, a lot of exotic hardwoods and stuff like that, doors and windows and stuff. So that's my day job, as well as being a chef. Most people know that I have a serious passion for bread baking and pizza. I've been doing that since I was 15 as well, always in the evening. So whatever my day job was, I still had an evening job always too. So always worked multiple jobs.
So you were 20 years old. I've heard you before say that your dad had fish tanks and he got you into the hobby. But I'm assuming that is that correct?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. It's a family hobby.
Now you're 20 years old. You move over to the Virgin Islands. You probably don't start with fish tanks right away. So how long have you been back into the hobby?
And I've had fish tanks almost the whole time that I've been here, and crazy stuff too, like not just like actual glass aquariums. I used to get the styrofoam boxes from the pet store at one point. We called it the pet store. It was the vet office, and it still is the vet office. But one of the owners, the owners were both veterinarians and married. They divorced. So the guy that was a super hardcore nerd, he left. He bred fish through college to pay his way through veterinary school and stuff like that. So anyways, I used to go there and hang out with him, geek out. He was like my only fish nerd. I'd annoy him with a bunch of questions on how to breed this, how to spawn that, and all this stuff. But the fish came in these styrofoam boxes that everybody sees. You know, they're in a cardboard box, but a styrofoam box, like a insulated, like a cooler, right?
Yeah.
So I would get those from the pet store, and I would keep fish in those. I would line them with plastic, and I would stack up, line them up next to each other so they wouldn't blow out on the sides. And I had my living room full of styrofoam containers wrapped in black plastic, and I was breeding guppies at one time, like selectively breeding them, and just having fun, you know. So, and then I've had just, you know, at one point I just had one aquascape tank in my bedroom in one apartment that I lived at here. But this is the only place where I really had the room to just go crazy, like it was when I was a kid. My father always, we always had 3 or 4 aquariums in the living room. Right now, my dad has 4 saltwater aquariums in his living room. So it was always like that growing up. So for me, it isn't a big deal to have a living room full of aquariums. I'm kind of used to it. The kitchen's full of aquariums now too. I made a deal with my girlfriend at the time that she could have a dog. She was crying about how much she wanted a dog. So I was like, all right, you can get a dog, but I get as many aquariums as I want. That's the deal. But
is that dog that's wandering around behind you?
Yeah. So I don't think she took me seriously. How serious I knew how serious I was because I grew up with them. I was thinking, you know, 20, 30 aquariums eventually down the line. So I'm up to 16 right now, and I'm about to buy 4 more.
Yeah, 16 tanks you got going right now?
I have 14 aquariums, and then I have 2 plastic grow out tubs. I'm working on an Endler project. I'm selectively breeding some Endlers, and I let them go crazy in these big 15-gallon plastic tubs, and then every month or 2 I'll go in there and I'll cull out the ones that I don't want, and I'm just like putting it on the side and not even really. I feed them and I do water changes, but I can't see who's in there. I can't really see them from the side because it's not a glass aquarium, right? So I just let it do its thing, and then once, like every 2 or 3 months, I'll go in there and I'll pull them out, and I'll pick out the nicest of them and take the rest to the pet store or something, and or to a friend's pond or something like that, and just get rid of the rest of them. And I never kill fish though. I don't know. There's always something else to do with them. There's always another home for them.
Ashley Claire just wants to let me know, wants you to know that you're not in focus. She thought it would be. Wait. She thought I should tell you that.
Who said that? Ashley Claire? Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Let's see. Let's have a quick look here.
I'm taking it off of autofocus. That's all. Take it off of autofocus because it keeps wanting to focus on my hands because I'm a big hand guy. Yeah. I like to use my hands. So if I pull it off of autofocus, we're good.
So anyway, I got a YouTube question for you. You started about 1.5 years ago. Is that about right? Maybe last June, something in that neighborhood. Not this past June, but the one before.
It's July. Yeah.
Oh, July. Okay.
July 15th or 16th, I believe it was. So it was my 1 year anniversary was when I was in Peru. I was kind of like my 1 year anniversary present for myself. Is I went to Peru with Corey and Dean Tweedell and the guys and Dwayne and all that. So that was like I celebrated my 1 year on YouTube while I was in Peru. So yeah, July 15th is 1 year. So I'm kind of not keeping track anymore.
Let's go straight into the Peru questions. So how did you get hooked up with this Peru trip? Like, had you been speaking to these guys? They kind of mentioned it before that they were going, or is this like something, because you'd met them at the Aquatic Experience before, I assume? Is that how you met, like, Dean, Corey? Who was the big pioneer behind this trip?
Honestly, the pioneer behind the trip originally, one of the main guys, was Bob Steenfot from Steenfot Aquatics. And then he couldn't go for personal reasons. He couldn't go. So in the end, he couldn't go. In order to keep a trip, there needed to be 4 people to go. Well, they liked to have 4 people for the expedition. They wanted 4 people, right? But honestly, I heard about it through like the Real Fish Talk and stuff that was going on YouTube between Joel and Corey was talking about it. And, you know, he had interviewed Dean and they were talking about it. And I was like, that sounds like a cool thing to do. And then I was at the Aquatic Experience 2 years ago, and I remember interviewing Dwayne Kitchell, And if you watch that interview, I have it somewhere in there. And I did an interview with him, and he brought that up, that he was going to go, you know, anything cool coming up. I asked him, and he said, yeah, I'm going to be going to going to Peru with the guys and all this. And I was like, I'd really like to get on that trip. That'd be really cool. And then I brought it up to Bob, and Bob's like, well, you can sign up. Anybody can go. And I'm just like, so I invited myself.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh yeah. I mean, it was no rule saying I couldn't go, and there was an open spot. So I just worked my butt off. I got a second job, and I bought the plane tickets and paid the deposit to go Wild Peru, and nobody could no one was going to be rude and tell me I couldn't go. I invited myself. You know, sometimes in life you gotta take the bull by the horns. You know what I mean? If you want to do something, you got to just do it.
For sure.
Can't wait for someone to invite you or tell you yes.
So obviously it wasn't a trip where you're laying on the beach and sipping Mai Tais. It's a working trip. So what was it like? Like the beginning of the trip, maybe like everyone's got a ton of energy the first day, and then after a couple of days it kind of slows down a little?
No. It slowed down maybe around the last couple of days, because everybody collected what they wanted, kind of what they're interested in. And at that point, you know, it got a little bit slower and stuff. But the funny thing for us, though, is most of us were, well, at least me and Corey were very actively filming. It was a big deal for us to create content. So it was kind of an odd thing for Go Wild Peru, for Michael Barber, because most of the time when people come on this trip, they want to catch fish. And that's all they care about. And so we were kind of like juggling, okay, we got to do a picture for YouTube, picture for Instagram, and now we got to film some stuff, and then we got to set the camera over here while we catch fish so we can get it on film. And so they were kind of like, it was funny, because it was just an odd experience for the expedition, because it was half of it for us was about filming. But you know, there was a point when it's like, okay, turning the camera off, I got to catch fish. Like I can film, but at a point it's like, okay, turn it off. I got what I wanted. So what I would do when I'd get to the water is I'd film what I wanted to film, or set the camera up, hit record, and then go jump in the water. Because you see any of that footage of mine, a lot of times I am in the water away from the camera sometimes, because I just got to figure out a way to balance. There's just a way to balance it. But the first couple of days were the toughest, because we went on a 3-day expedition up in the mountains. So we had one night to sleep at the base camp, and then we didn't really know exactly what was going on. We just were told every day, like kind of like soldiers. We're like, okay, well, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And all of a sudden it was just like, pack up your stuff. We're going for 3 days. We'll be up in the mountains, pack clothes for 3 days, and leave everything else here. And we did. And we stayed in hostels every night. And always cold showers. The locals are very, very poor, impoverished people, and they get free water out of the mountains. You know, it's just melting snow from the mountains, and so it's all gravity fed out of the mountains. But it's ice cold. So like if you take a shower, you're taking like an ice cold shower. It's free water, but it's cold. So everywhere we went, it was pretty much cold showers.
So what was the coolest fish you saw there? Like was it a pleco? Was it a cory? Was it
the coolest fish? Everybody was the big hype was obviously the gold and the gold green ancistrus. I'm not a big ancistrus guy, honestly. I mean, they're cute. No offense to some people, just love them. I think they're kind of ugly. But I have to be honest though, observing them and looking at the different characteristics of different kinds of ancistrus. I did like the whiptail, the Farewella. That one was really cool.
I didn't know you guys saw Farewella. That's cool. That one must have been hard to find.
No, we brought some back. They're in the leaf litter. They would have been. I really wish I would have brought some home for myself. I was just thinking about that the other day, because my Amazon biotope that's behind me, it's black water, so you can't even see it behind me. The lights are on, but you couldn't tell. Because of the lighting, and it's right behind my head. But it would have been perfect in there. I have like 3 or 4 inches of leaf litter in that aquarium, and those Farewella would have you'll never see them. It's just like my bumblebee catfish. I see them maybe once a week if I'm lucky, or if I stare at the tank as soon as I've dropped some pellets in, they'll come out, grab one, and they disappear into the leaf litter. But that's how it is in the wild. A lot of these fish, Yeah, they're in the leaf litter. They live underneath the leaves, and you got to scoop up. You got to take the net and scoop up a whole net of leaves to find these fish. That's the only way you're gonna get them.
So you've got some tetras coming, right?
Yeah, so for me, like the big hype for everybody there, it just was because it's an unnamed, undescribed species, was the gold ancestris, and the big argument was whether or not that gold ancestris is just gold when it's a baby, and when it grows up, it loses that color. It's just like an age thing.
Yeah.
So there's all this argument, and I think we need to get some more of them as well, so we can do some more breeding. But anyway, so that was like the big hype for the group altogether. For me, I personally fell in love with what I have coming in 2 days. I have some nano blue tetra. It's Tetocharax tobambatensis. Tetocharax tobambatensis. It's a nano blue tetra. It's very, very fragile. You can't even touch them with your bare hands. If you damage their slime coat with your fingers, it will die within minutes or an hour or so. It'll be dead. It gets very stressed very easily from that. So you have to literally net them and just drop them, just knock them out of the net right into the water and never touch them with your hands. So I have 40 of those coming in. They'll be here Thursday afternoon. They should be here tomorrow afternoon at the, but cool. I can't, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
So what was what's Dean like? I mean, we kind of see what Corey's like in his videos, and Dwayne's got a channel too there. But what's Dean doesn't have any of his own videos though. He seems like a cool guy. What's he like?
We're begging him to make videos now. He's a teacher. He's a cooking teacher at a college.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can't get him to make videos. He's really awesome, and I had just soaked up as much knowledge as I could from him in regards to different breeding exercises for different species, how to lay out the tank, how to control where the flow should be coming from, where the opening of the cave should be. Like, he really knows how to fine tune what shape of a rock you need for certain fish to get them to lay eggs on that rock. Like, I was just like taking notes, but. Honestly, he is a funny guy. Is he in here right now? He is a funny guy. Like, he's funny. He's always got the jokes. He just kept us laughing the whole time. He was comic relief the whole time. I was so happy that I would love to travel with him again, just because I know that I'd laugh. I know that we'd have a good time. He's a really good-hearted, just a really positive guy, and very knowledgeable in regards to breeding lots of different species.
Would you go to Peru again, or would you go? Would you choose somewhere else first?
I loved the Peru trip, and I made a lot of good friends there, and I definitely want to go back again. And I would go back with some other YouTubers if I could get 3 or 4 people together to go and specifically go Wild to Peru. I would totally do a special little trip with some of my fellow YouTubers or whatnot. That would be awesome. But yeah, after that experience, it definitely. I've always had the dream of being able to do this, and that's kind of my goal here, honestly, is I'm trying to make these things happen for me where I can go to lots of different places. I've got a lot of places on my mind, on a list. Thailand is one of them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea, Brazil. So I'm really, there's a lot of places close to home that I was interested in going to. At one point, I was looking at going to Jamaica. Yeah. There's also St. Croix, which has some wild species. And I would love to go down to Trinidad and Tobago and actually see the wild guppies. The wild guppies from Trinidad. There's actually a species in one river. It's a new species of guppy. It's the obscura. It's not a reticulata. It's not an indler or indolive bear or a regular guppy. The name is obscura. They've done a DNA test, and it's different than the other 2 kinds of live bear guppies. So I'd love to go find that one specifically and probably bring some home if I could get away with that. Those are really cool. But yeah, there's a lot of places on my list, and money's the only limit. I mean, that's the only thing that's holding me back. But I'm really bad about spending my money on my passion and what I love. Yeah. So I'm lucky that I don't have children. I don't, I'm not in that situation where I do have other responsibilities and obligations that should come first, really. So I'm trying to fulfill some of these dreams while I still can. But we'll see where I don't even know where I'm going next, except that I was going to go to Brazil. There's a trip to Brazil in January with Chris Lukaup from Germany, from Dennerle, the Fish King. Yeah. He's invited me to go to Brazil, but it's too soon and too much money. Unless Dennerle is paying for it.
Let's have a quick look in the chat here. I haven't had a chance to say hi to a bunch of people.
Yeah, everybody's in.
I missed a ton. We've got Pam 54 Punchies here, K-Town, Oddball Aquatics, Rob 93 is in the house, Learning to Fish Keep is here, E-Money Cichlids is here, Candy Overhauls, Nisi, River Life is here, Mr. B's Fishing Things is here, Aquarium Thoughts, which I apologize. He had a premiere starting at the same time as this, and I didn't mean to overlap. Normally we're at 7 o'clock Pacific, but we had to go a little earlier to accommodate the U.S. Virgin time zone, which is 4 hours ahead of us. So I apologize for that. Science Gal is here as well, and I think there's some other people in here that I may have missed, and I apologize for that because I would like to say hi. Deela's here. Jeremy's Wild Studios is here. SC Fish Keeping. Lisa's Aquatics. HC Aqua. Jesse, hello. Ashley Claire. Me and Mandy. And Science Gal. Angelo's here. Bam is here. We've got a great group of people here. And I did have a question here from I think it was Big City Betas. Let me get back to that question, because he is asking you about betas, and you have been mentioning you want to get into, I think, some of the wild caught betas.
Yeah.
So let me just.
I'm a big wild guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just see. Okay, here we go. Interested to see. Big City Beta says interested to see what success he has with those beta macrostoma.
I don't think she's talking about me. I'm not getting into macrostoma for a while. I'm working with the Sparagdina first is my plan. She's messing with me. She's just messing with me. No, I'm saving that for a while down the road. Mouth brooders and stuff like that, and the lower pH and stuff. So, I'm taking baby steps. I really have a lot of respect for the world of wild betas and wild fish altogether, but wild betas. So, I really like the way that they breed. I find it very interesting. So I'm definitely going to take it slow. And out of respect for the fish and for that part of the hobby, and I'm gonna work my way up and just start with a little bit more of like some entry-level beta fish, wild betas specifically, and just slowly work my way into beta fish that require a little bit more acidic water and a little bit more specific kind of layout of their aquarium and things like that. But I love that. That to me is the most beautiful part about like breeding fish is like, okay, well, you want to have this over here like this. And if the flow's coming this way, then you want to have a rock over here. And some people, I don't know that they might take it that seriously, but I know a lot of breeders that I know that are nothing to do with YouTube. You know, they don't have YouTube channels. This hobby is huge. YouTube is cool, but the hobby itself blows our YouTube community away. No offense to our community, but like there's some people that they're never going to make a YouTube video, but the knowledge that they have, I beg them, some of them, I'm like, please make a video. Like, please make videos. Like we need your knowledge. And they're like, I'm busy breeding.
Yeah. But probably like, how many people do you know? Like I just went to my fish auction 2 weekends ago, and Brendan Flynn came too. I kind of reached out. Flynn's Fish Forum there. And it was his first time going, but we're the only 2 YouTubers in the room out of all the people that are there.
Dean was there though, right?
What's that?
Dean was there?
No, I'm in Vancouver, so
Vancouver, right.
Yeah, north of Seattle.
There was another question. Somebody asked me a question though that was Aquarium Thoughts asked a question, and I think that he's missed some of my videos based on that question. There's fish here. There's three species of fish that I've collected here. Wild guppies, there's a mountain mullet, and there's a goby fish that are tropical and local to the Virgin Islands. And there's 5 different species of invertebrates. No crayfish, but I have 5 different species of microbrachium and or no, not microbrachium and stuff like that, like little crab, shrimp, and there's a land crab, but stuff like that. But yeah, there's stuff here that I collect. If you check out some of my videos on wild fish collecting, look at my wild guppy collecting videos. That's all local here on my island. Anyways, was there another question? Was that the one you were talking about?
There is another question here that I am going to ask. We will get to more of your wild guppy collecting stuff in a little bit here. I just wanted to SC fish keeping. I'd be curious to know, JH, how hard is it to get fish you want where you live? Do you ever have trouble?
Yeah, well, like I have 40 fish coming from Peru that had to come to the States. They went to Virginia for a week and a half. It takes me having friends in the hobby to get some of this stuff, but went to Virginia for a week and a half, had to be stabilized there, fed, and then they had to go undergo fasting again for about a day and a half so they could go into bags and be shipped to me. They're in the USPS right now, and they should be here tomorrow afternoon. The last box of fish that I received here was from Dean Tweedle. It was 4 bags of fish. The box cost $117 to ship. So, and that's, you know, that's for some people, I think that's real, you like for you, Ron, you used to that.
That's very, very like in Canada, like shipping costs about that here.
But like I said to you last night, you're a little bit
out of focus there over on your end, Joseph.
Who, am I really out of focus?
I think you're a little bit out of focus again.
Was that Ashley saying that?
No, that's me saying that.
Really? Am I out? No, you're missing.
It could just be my end.
I think it's your end because I look clear. I'm on Google Hangouts. I'm looking at me.
And it looks clear? Okay, it could be my side.
I think it's just it's bandwidth. It's bandwidth. Yeah.
Appreciate that, River Life. Mel's here. She's your non-fish keeping, only fur keeping friend. Hey, we're fur keeping friends here as well. Pam's saying Joseph is out of focus.
Are you serious?
She's backing me up. What's going on, Matt's Monster Fish? He's asking where's JH from. He is from, well, he lives in the U.S. Virgin Islands. He's the top fish tuber in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Hello, I guess you could say that. No, I'm crystal clear over here. If I get any clearer, you're gonna really
says you're out of focus too.
No, it's the bandwidth. It's my bandwidth. It's got to be because I mean on my side when I'm on Google, like the image itself.
It could just be the connection.
It's probably my connection because the internet's been really rough the last couple of days. I got the guys that own the company. They're friends of mine, and they were just texting me right now. They're working on it.
Well, you're super clear right now.
Right, and I told them like, don't. It's a chocolate Siamese mixed with a tiger kitty. Cool. It's like a tiger stripe cat, half tiger, half chocolate Siamese.
He's got something. I think he's got a guppy he's playing with behind you.
Oh, what? It's not a guppy, but it looks like it. Y'all messing with me now. Mess with me. It looked like he was playing with. She's got all kinds of little toys. She's actually got a little toy that is a fish. And I'm like, I didn't get that toy. I'm like, I don't know about that. If that was a good idea.
It's just gonna give him ideas. Hey, okay, you've got 2 videos that you have that have been phenomenal successes for you. Both of them with well over 100,000 views. They're both on collecting wild guppies.
Yeah, Aquarium Thoughts needs to watch both of those videos.
Yeah. So, what's the secret? How do you make a video that gets 100,000 views?
I don't. I cannot answer that. That's the funny thing. Oh, let me see. What did I do? I went and moved the camera. Anyways, I can't answer that question. I mean, that's, I think that we could start talking about the algorithm and about optimizing a video. You got to do that to all your videos. I do that to all my videos, but that has nothing to do with whether or not it goes wild. It's one of them things that I think that you get lucky, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to make a good piece of content and try to optimize it properly, tag, description, you know, keywords or whatever, but the title, I think the most important things is a good title and a good thumbnail. And then following that up with a description that matches your title.
Maybe you've got
and
a
actually
unique topic too, because like I mean, there's not a ton of guppy collecting videos out there.
That could help. Maybe doing something that no one else is doing. It's really important to like go for something that no one, you know, try to find something new, like I did with probably another like the hashtag FishFamNews. You know, you just gotta like sit there and brainstorm like what is no one else doing? What is, you know, what come up with something new. You know, a lot of people just try to copy what other people are doing, and that can work. That could work. Actually, it can completely work for you. You could go out there and you go out and make your own version of every video that Corey from Aquarium Co-op ever made, or Joey King of DIY ever made. And if you did it well enough, you probably could be successful just doing that. But I think that you'd be more successful being yourself and doing what you love and doing something new and different. I think it's better to be true to yourself and do something that you love, or you're gonna burn out. You're not gonna be happy in the end, you know.
I think for someone who's like starting out smaller, like me, for example, like if I do a video on how to set up a fish tank, it's gonna get 200 views because there's a million how to set up a fish tank videos. So I've got to. But
you should still do that. Let me recommend that though. That you should still do those though. Like,
well, I do have how to set up a 220-gallon fish tank, and it has about 400 views. But if I try to go like more specific, okay, what's not out there, and I kind of look at things like that are something that I'm also interested in. It's not like I'm going way out of left field and I know nothing about this. Other parts of the hobby that I'm really into, maybe fish that aren't very common, and I can do like a little species spotlight or something like that on something like that. Those seem to do much better for me than if I just do something generic, like, you know, how to take care of a I think it's different for
everybody. I think it's important to look at your analytics. You really have to take the time, do the homework, and study your own content. Look at your numbers and see what, you know, look at your own numbers and see what's working. Like what do you make that is working for you? Because part of it is your personality. So you might do a DIY video, but people are liking your DIY videos not just because you're doing a DIY video, but it's your personality on top of it that is helping. So I don't know. I think it for each person, it's like a different equation, kind of, honestly. But I think the most important thing is to stay true to yourself and do what you love and be doing what you love first. Or you won't stick it out. Like, everybody's into it for a different reason. Some people just want to share their hobby and they're just like, you know, some people are looking at a little bit more of a business model. Everybody has is doing it for their own reason. So the key, I think, is to be true to yourself, though, or you won't stick it out, especially if you're trying to do something for like the long haul.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that.
If you're not true to yourself, you're going to end up burning out.
It's easy to get defeated in this too when you keep going, and then you know, if you're not doing something you love and it's not super successful, then you're going to run out of.
If you're looking at the for the wrong stuff too, yeah, I feel like some people just study the numbers too much. Like, you really can't study the numbers. I mean, you study the numbers, study the analytics, study the numbers of like a video of how many people watch it. When do they cut out of the video? When do they leave the video? When do they stop watching your video? Those numbers. But I think people need to stop looking at like, I have this many subs or I have that many subs. I think the focus needs to be on your content. Like, you could sit here and stare at what everybody else is doing, but if you're busy watching I have this many subs and that person has that many subs, like, you're wasting your time. You should be writing bullet points for your next video and thinking about how you're going to lay out your scenes and where you're going to set up your camera and your fish room and where you're going to set up your lights so that the lights aren't reflecting off your aquarium while you're filming. Like, be busy making a good video. Don't worry about the numbers or begging for subs. Just make good content and it will happen for you. That's what I was taught. And at the same time, for me, I love to film and I love to make the videos. So that's where the fun is for me. And so I'm just having fun, and the dream come true is if it does work, then it works, and I'm getting to do what I love. So that's fine. I'm having fun. You just have to have fun with it.
That's
if you're
good,
not having fun with it, you shouldn't be doing it.
If you're in here to make, it's good. It's hard to like make a living doing this, let alone make anything doing this. So hopefully most people start doing this just for the fun of doing this. We got a few more people I just want to say hi to that are in here. We've got Naked Reefer, Twin City Guppies, King Lee is here. Dee from Down the Wormhole. She is here. Hello, Dee. And Jeff Rowe, Jeff Rowe Fish Keeping.
Jeff Rose, what's up, man? These are all really cool people, and there's so many people.
They are very cool people. Oh, we've got Daryl in here too. I miss Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
There's so many people in here that I've met in person, and there's people in here that are like true friends to me, like people that.
That's awesome, man.
Rack from River Life. I've met him more than once. He's one of the most positive characters I've ever met in my life. Like he's Big City Betas. King Lee is such a hard worker when it comes to his breeding programs and the fish. And I watched him at the Aquatic Experiences last year. He was
King Lee. He's actually he's my guest next week. So looking forward to that one.
He's a hard worker. I mean, when I just watched him just work real hard at the Aquatic Experience, we were all like, by the last day, we were all exhausted, bloodshot, throats were gone, vocal cords. When you're doing something that you love, you can easily it'd be like going to a good concert and coming home and you have no voice left. We're all there just geeking out, doing what we love. And by the end of 3 days, we were all sick. We all had colds. We lost our voices. Our eyes are bloodshot. We're running on fumes, but we were all happy. We were all just having a ball.
I just want to say a few more hellos here. We got Tanks. He's in here too. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. What's up?
So Joseph, I got another question for you, and I asked Corey the same question last week, but it's popped up again here. So, and I know actually when I kind of got a chance to meet you the other day, I ran this one past you too, and it's a question that I get asked all the time. What does your girlfriend think of the hobby? Supportive? Not super supportive? Right into it with you? Couldn't care less about it? Let's hear the dirt on that.
Ooh, I gotta be careful. She's in the other room. She's right here, so
she can't hear you.
I mean, she can hear me. I live in a studio apartment. This is smaller than you think, and
no, she can't hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you see something fly across the room, you see me duck. You know why? I have to say, honestly, she probably is supportive to a certain extent because I just keep getting more aquariums. But I've pretty much I've been very selfish in the regards of just kind of taking over the house with my hobby and with my YouTube. This is like JH Aquatic Studios here, this is my living room. But it's a living room, it's a studio, and it's a fish room. And then I got the kitchen has the other half of my aquariums in the kitchen, right on the other side of this fake wall that I've created, which is my studio right here. So I don't know. I mean, she probably could care less about it. To a certain extent.
That's a lot better than some people. Not caring less is a lot better than what it could be.
Yeah, it could be worse.
You got your tanks.
She doesn't hate it, but she couldn't. She got her dog and she got her cat. So
there you go.
There's a fair deal. There's no. Can't really argue. There was a deal made, and it is what it is. But she's not part of the hobby. She's not really involved at all. It's just not her. Not her thing. That's for sure. When it comes to the maintenance of the fish and the breeding programs and the stuff that I'm doing, that's my thing.
We didn't get to the question from SC Fish Keeping on how hard is it to get fish there, did we? Like
kind of. Well, I mean, I'll give an example of fish stores. There was one place that I was talking about that's like it's a veterinarian office, and they still have all the aquariums, that the ex-husband had when they got divorced. He left the vet office with his wife. He had all these aquariums, but he left the tanks with her with the business when they divorced. So she still has the
Yeah.
aquariums there. She brings in fish from Seagrass Farms. Pretty
Mhm.
much I've seen them they just cut the bags open and they dump the bag, water and the fish, everything into the aquarium. It's probably one of the worst operations that I've ever seen, and any of us in here that would freak out if we saw it. So I don't support that place anymore. It's the only place on the island. Half the fish that I have in here that I purchased locally, I got from them, and they were all pretty much rescues. Half of them were for free because I guilt tripped them. My two angelfish, one of my two angelfish was free because I told them, I was like, you can give me the fish and I can go home and try to save its life. I have all the medications and I know what I'm doing. You can either give me the fish or it'll be dead when you come in here tomorrow morning.
Wow.
And they were like, they couldn't say no to that. They gave me the fish and he's still alive. And they breed. I got a mating pair on accident. And I've got two angelfish that breed every 2 or 3 weeks in there. And they were both near death. And I salt bathed them and I medicated them, dewormed them. And they're working on a 1.5 years old. And they were both going to be dead within another day or so if I didn't take them. So, no, I don't get anything locally from anyone anymore. There's one place in the Big Island that has fish, and I don't buy fish from him because he doesn't have anything that I want, but I do deal with him on fish tanks. He gives me a wholesale price on aquariums. So I was buying my aquariums off of Amazon. These 4 20 gallons that you see on this rack, I paid $120 a piece. They're Marineland 20-gallon Marineland aquariums with the kit with the crappy lid and the little LED plastic and the little hang on the back and whatever, and a little like disposable heater that you would not trust ever in your aquarium. So $120 with shipping for those aquariums, and 1 out of 5 got cracked, broke. But in shipping from the States off of Amazon. So the rest of my aquariums I get from this guy in St. Thomas. That's the only dealing that I do. I try to sell them fish and shrimp, but he can't even. I have Caridina shrimp, and he can't even take them because there's nobody down here like me. There's nobody down here like me. He can't sell them.
Yeah.
He said that when his hardcore nerds come in, he would like pass my phone number to them, and if they were interested in Caridina shrimp or some of my other fish, that my endlers and stuff, that they could call me personally. But he won't take my fish because he just buys like a couple, some tetra, neon tetra, and this and that, and sells the basics, and that's some angelfish, and that's it.
That kind of leads us over to a question from Terry's Tropical Tanks. How big is the hobby on the island?
No, it's sad to talk about. It's me. I'm the fish doctor. I mean, I do have some. There's one aquarium in an office here, and I'm obviously I take care of it.
Okay.
I scape it and play with it, and I pretty much stock it with fish from my fish room. Last year I was breeding cherry barbs, and all the rest of my cherry barbs from that breeding program are in that aquarium, and I take care of it. I clean it once or twice a week, and I stock it with plants and hardscape and just kind of play with it every once in a while. I should make a video about that one. But besides that, there's no like other aquariums in an office space. I did have a teacher that hasn't responded back with me that wanted an aquarium, and I was going to donate her an aquarium for the classroom for like, to create a lesson plan around it and stuff. So I might, if she answers me, I totally will work with her. I'd love to donate an aquarium and everything she needs, and I'll even donate her the livestock, the hardscape, help maybe even come in with the classroom with her and talk or something. I would love to. I love that stuff with the kids. This fish keeping hobby with the youth. That's such a beautiful thing to me, and I would love to do more stuff like that. I really hope to. When I was at the Aquatic Experience, especially the first year, when I saw the young people doing the children's aquascaping competition, I got almost teary-eyed because, I mean, as adults, we're all hanging out with other fish keepers as adults. Like, we forget that like half or more than half of this hobby are kids. And it also had an effect on my content. You'll never hear me cuss in my videos. You're never going to see me drink alcohol or do anything profane. ever in any of my videos or any of my live streams, because I have 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds that watch my videos, and I stick true to that. My content is family-friendly content, and I support the youth when it comes to this hobby. They're the next generation of fish keepers, and it's important. We all have a responsibility, I feel like, to make sure that we know what we're talking about when we talk about something. That we got 11 and 12-year-olds that are the next generation that are listening to our stuff, and you know, watching our content, and we have a responsibility, and so I don't know, that's just where I'm at. Everybody, you know, to each their own, but that's just how I roll with my channel.
Well, you
And
won't
my
hear
content.
me cuss on mine as well. Mine's a family channel. My wife and kids are involved. You will see me drink from time to time, though. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you got to be yourself, right?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, I've got another question here for you. Oh, hey, Jamie McDonald. Jamie McDonald's in the house here. Okay, so I kind of started doing live streams a couple months ago, maybe like September.
Yeah.
But I started doing it by myself, and I thought, you know, I need to make these things. I want to be a little bit different. And you have Fish Fam News, where you interview somebody all the time.
Yeah.
And kind of the three amigos were around, kind of doing their thing, like Rob93 and Aquafunk and Andy's Angels there. And then I thought, you know what? I think it might be kind of cool if I rotate a guest on every week. So, and you know, it's more fun for me to converse with somebody than to just look into a screen and talk. So anyway, Fish Fam News was one of the things that kind of got me going into this direction. How'd you get the idea for your Fish Fam News?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I was brainstorming, you know, like, what is no one else doing? Like, what can I do that's unique and different? And I was laying in bed, staring up at the ceiling, and just brainstorming, just having a moment, like, just, you know, 7 o'clock at night or something after dinner, not late enough to fall asleep. And the girlfriend's out here on the couch watching TV, and I'm just thinking, man, what can I do? What can I come up with? And when I came up with the idea, because I was thinking hashtag Fish Fam, like, this is the community. Like, how can I tie the community together, bring people together, do something different? And I came up with it, staring at the ceiling, laying in bed, hashtag Fish Fam News. And I'll tell you, I was so excited. Like, I was like, this is such a great idea. Like, I jumped up out of bed. I ran out in the living room. I remember this. I was like, and I told my girlfriend about it, and she was like, are you talking about YouTube again? Oh, man. That was her response. I was like, oh, man, what am I going to do? But I was like, oh, man, this is epic. This is so cool. This is so much fun. And, of course, my original, like, image was me doing what I did in the very beginning, was sitting at a desk with suit and tie on, you know, with the little music coming in like a news, you know, episode, and be all formal and all that kind of thing. And everybody took it kind of like a joke.
I like that.
I have fun with it. I have fun with that. That was really enjoyable, and I still plan on doing. Well,
you got one with Rachel.
Yeah,
that's your newest one, right? Rachel O'Leary.
At the Aquatic Experience, I did a whole group of interviews when I was at the Aquatic Experience. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but the suit and tie is coming back. I promise. I just had to, like, it didn't get old, but it did get old. Like, I felt like it was repetitive. And I came to realize, looking at the numbers and stuff, like, we have a really awesome community, but like the hashtag Fish Fam community, and even like the hashtag FishTube community, I came to realize how small we really are. Like, in a sense, we're small. We're like 300 or 400 people, maybe a little more, maybe about 1,000. Because if you got 1/3 of the people in the community watch your content, which is about the average, only about 1/3 of your viewers, your subscribers, or people in a community watching that content. So maybe there's about 1,000 people in our community. But like, I wanted to reach a broader, you know, because to me, the fish keeping hobby is huge. It's worldwide. It's huge. There's people that I know from around the world that are breeders and aquascapers and shrimp breeders, fish breeders. And, you know, I meet these people at places like the Aquatic Experience and other conventions. And like for me to sit and just keep it so small, like it felt like it was too much of a little microcosm. It did feel like it was getting repetitive and getting too vanilla for me. I wanted to make it bigger, so I've been spending maybe too much time, but trying to figure out a way to kind of make it world, like the whole world, kind of incorporate people that I know in Japan that are shrimp breeders or world famous, award-winning aquascapers, and companies that I know that are creating the next generation of filters and stuff like that. Like there's so much more to incorporate into that I think that I could share and make it more cramped packed full of knowledge. I don't know. I just think that it could be better than what I was doing. So it kind of started to mess with my head, and I had to take a break and kind of take a step back and look at it.
Totally.
So
yeah.
That's my explanation anyways, to why things have been come to kind of almost a standstill.
Here's a softball question for you. What's your favorite fish?
I can't do that. I don't know. I want to. I felt like that would be easier. Actually, I have to be honest, because that's a tough question, because there's a lot of really awesome species and families and stuff that I'd like. But honestly, I have to be true to my guppy.
Yeah.
Endler live bears that breed true, like some beautiful like N-class endlers, endlers from Colombia and other places in South America. The endlers, the guppies and endler live bears, and I really want to do a little bit more work with this obscura species as well, because it's kind of new to the hobby completely. So I might be going to Trinidad or Tobago sooner than I think, but yeah, I'd have to say guppies.
Okay, how about maybe you can help me out with a little problem I've been having. So this is a specific to me problem. It's ammonia based question. You good with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the tank behind me. So I set this one up in August, and not one fish had died. So I do bi-weekly 25% water changes in it. It's a 220 gallon tank, and everything's been great. I had 5 fish 2 weeks ago. A week later, which is last Friday, I do a water change. Saturday morning, 2 fish are dead. First 2 fish that have ever died in here. I'm like, that's weird. 2 fish die same time. Next day, another fish dies. I test the water. My ammonium's at 1.2, and it was at 0 about 3 weeks before. So then I start putting some water stability. I do a 5% water change. Start adding the Seachum stability water in there. Now it's down to 0.6. And then now it's down to 0.1. So we've got it under control, but what do you think? I mean, I don't have a ton of plants in here. I don't run carbon in my filter because I put fertilizer in here. What do you think? Any thoughts? I didn't do anything different to the tank to all of a sudden get an ammonia spike. Any thoughts?
I don't know. I think that I would put more plants. But then again, I'm a big person, and I believe that plants are filtration.
Me too. Yeah.
And even if like what really one of the things that really helped me with the heterotrophic bacteria bloom and one of the tanks behind me was adding duckweed to it, adding duckweed to the aquarium, because the duckweed floating on the surface, it really does an awesome job at filtering out nitrates and nitrites and stuff like that. But the ammonia out of nowhere, you add five fish, but that's how many gallons of is that?
220.
Yeah, it's 220. If anything, I think that maybe I wouldn't be doing so many water changes. I don't know. How many fish are in there?
Normally I do the bi-weekly 20%. So
yeah, I don't even do that sometimes.
That's one every 2 weeks. I'm doing one every Every other week I do
Oh,
20.
bi-weekly. I thought you were saying you're doing 20-gallon water
Not
changes twice a week.
not twice a week. Once every 2
Oh, okay.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna
just thought
say that
I'd
if
throw it out
anything,
there.
you're washing out the. I was thinking you were saying you were doing it too much because I would have said that like you could be washing out the water column,
No, no.
like,
I mean,
and
my
it's not
plant.
creating a
It's
nitrogen
hard.
cycle.
It's hard. I want to fill. I've got like it's Val in the back here, and I want to like get the whole thing covered in Val, but like because I also live in Canada, there's not as many options for plants. So every time I see Val, I buy every single thing that's there. So I'm being maybe too picky in this tank with like the plants that
Do
I
you
want.
have
I want like
substrate under the sand?
crayons growing on the. Pardon?
Do you have substrate under the sand?
The sand, it's pool filter sand.
But there's no substrate underneath of it, like a
There's that
fluval or like
fluval.
a
There's the fluval pack
stratum.
of the. Yes. There's that underneath there.
Oh, so you do have some kind of a okay. That's not just inert substrate. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think
And
we've got it
that's
under control now, but
and that up at the
it's just
top. What is
bizarre.
that? Water sprite or guppy grass? What is that up there? The water sprite. What is
That's
that up
water
there?
sprite. I just threw that in there today. That's not
Well, and
normally in
that
there.
right there should. That's something to me is one of those plants that will act like a filter. That
That's
will
why
just
I threw it in there.
yeah. It will
I threw it in
soak.
there. Just I got home from work, tossed it in. We have a tank at our work. Actually,
Mhm.
Terry Lindsay is in the stream right now. He's got a couple tanks, and I took it out of his tank, threw it in the top here, just kind of for some extra filtration.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a couple other guys in the chat here. I just want to say hi to, but we're coming
Yeah.
up to our one. We're coming up to our 1 hour, so we got to say hi to Mel, Hawaiian Peacock. How are you, Mel? And we got to say hi to
definitely.
Fish Tropic. We've got another Canadian in the house here, and we've got Aquafunk here. Now we've got Aquafunk in the chat. Aquafunk has been very busy lately. I haven't seen him much, but I just want to say hi to those guys.
And
Were you going to say something, Joseph?
Unconventional Aquatics.
Yeah, Unconventional Aquatics is in here. Yeah.
And K-Town Reefer, he's a good guy too.
K-Town Reefer, yeah. He's about 4 hours from me, so that's
yeah,
cool.
I don't know why I thought I kept thinking K-Town. I think at first I thought he was from. I was thinking like Cape Town, like South African or something, and he's like, no, Canada.
He's from wine country.
Yeah.
And we've got Heather from Scarlet Aquatics is in here as well. I didn't get a chance to say hi to her, but hello, Heather.
And Teresa Cookie, she's a friend of mine through the community. Teresa Cookie, I want to say hi to her.
Yeah. Teresa's been in here in this one for a while, so appreciate that, Funk. And Lacey's Place. Hello, how are you?
Jason from Fish Tropic.
Yeah. Okay, well, Joseph, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today, man. It was a pleasure to get to talk to you. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this hour with you, and thank you so much, man.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I love this. Like I said, the community is everything. Us hanging out and you know, coming together and talking about this stuff this is what it's all about, really.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Joseph. What do you got coming up for videos? What's the next one coming out? Well, you got your regular Sunday stream, which is like Sundays at 10 a.m. my time, so 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's like 2 p.m. your time.
Yeah, and I've been working 2 jobs trying to save up money for my next trip because they're expensive trips. And then so besides that, I can't say that I'm doing specific daily or uploads on certain days, but I do have my weekly upload of at least 1 to 2 videos a week, and then my Saturday deal. I think I'm putting out my next interview is going to be the King of DIY.
Oh, nice.
Joey Mullen. I'm going to share that interview. I have that kind of set up in the editor already, but I haven't finished it. So I have that should be coming up soon. And then I'm just kind of like sharing with people my new beta fish tank that I'm working on. I have a black water beta fish tank for a pair of wild spiragnina, copper spiragnina wild betas, so that they can actually stay in the tank together. If you create the tank properly, the male and the female with some wild species can actually be homed or housed in the same aquarium.
Awesome.
So that's one thing. That's one thing I love about them too, is that, you know, a lot of these like domesticated betas, you put them in the same tank together and they're going to kill each other in 20 minutes. So I love the idea of being able to keep my male and my female in there and let them actually parent raise the fry as well for a certain amount of time. Like, that's really cool. So that's look for that. I got the scape of that tank coming out, just showing the proper way to set up a tank so that two Sparagnina, male and female, aren't going to kill each other. You know.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got next week's stream's actually going to be on Monday because that's what worked for Ken Lee. So we're going to be at Monday, 7 o'clock Pacific time for our weekly hangout, and we will have Twin City Guppies on. Joseph, thank you again one more time.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thanks to the mods. You guys did a great job as always. And thanks for everyone who came in today. We had some new viewers today. So thanks, Joseph, for bringing over some new viewers with you as well. So appreciate that. Thanks very much. Have a good night, everybody.
All right.